Hi Tubies, here's Alexandra, and welcome to the next painting tutorial. Well, some of you might have noticed it on Facebook or other social medias out there. There have been rumors out there and some pictures from the next White Dwarf that Nagash is coming out. And so I thought to me, okay, let's have a look at skeletons to paint them because, well, you need a lot of them. What I have here gathered are 3 skeletons I will show you to paint today. First one is the simple snap fit or the old school skeleton from GW with no armor whatsoever. Just simple plain skeleton. Then I have here one skeleton from Mantic Games. As you can see, I have already primed him white and gone over it with a wash. This is the look of this one here. And here I have one of the newer GW armored skeletons. This is in fact, well, the champion of it. But I will show you on this skeleton how to paint armor. And, well, we will start with the basic one, this one here. In order to paint skeletons, you have to decide which kind of skeleton do you want. Do you want it to have a very, very bleached, bony kind of look, or do you want it more grayish or more in a brownish tone? It totally depends on what kind of primer you are choosing. So for this skeleton, I show you the brown primer method. In that case, I will prime it with a Army Painter spray primer, leather brown here, Army Painter, and I'll be back when he is primed. So tubies, that is how he looks after the primer, and now it is time for dry brushing. In order to dry brush, you should use an old brush like this one here. He has lost his tip. This is a standard brush. I will not recommend the GW dry brushes because they are too stiff, but we will use this one later, so keep that in mind. You need a relatively soft brush in order to make good dry brushes. So as colors we will use now this 3 here, XV88, Baneblade Brown, and Screaming Skull. So the first layer of dry brush will be a 50-50 mix of XV88 and Baneblade Brown. Give it a good shake. Zip, like that. Mix them firmly together. So then you need a paper towel like that, and you will wipe off most of the excess paint, and then we will simply go over the miniature. The first dry brush will be kind of a heavy overbrush, so don't wipe too much of the brush off. So, very simple process. I know on the camera you won't see that much right now because the color change is not that high, but we will get to that. So make sure you hit almost every bone part. And at this stage it doesn't matter if you hit other parts of the miniature because we are going to overpaint them in time. So this color will be our foundation to build up the rest of the bone colors. So, and already done. So the next dry brush part will be pure Baneblade Brown. Same process. And again, we're going over it. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Good thing about this kind of skeletons with no armor at all, they are relatively fast to paint, as you can see. So, I guess that is done. And now we will mix in some of the Screaming Skull. Just like that. And again. And this time we will go lighter on the brush. And we will leave a little bit of the old colors behind. So don't overbrush everything. Just make it that these are the, well, high spots. See where we are going. Top of the skull, of course. So, and the last step will be pure Screaming Skull. Starting at the top, like that. Very light. And ta-da! The skeleton is done. As you can see, all the bone parts are now nice and different kind of shades. So, I will not paint the rest of the miniature right now. I will show you now the steps on this miniature. As you can see, as I have told you before, I have primed it in white, and then I have gone over it with a wash. This was, let me see here, Seraphim Sepia. And this is how it looks. And what we are going to do is take simply the Screaming Skull. I still haven't all the names memorized. I'm still on the old colors like bleached bone or something like that. So, and we are simply going to dry brush now over all the bone parts with a Screaming Skull. You will notice the white primer and the wash have done already most of the job for us. So there's not much to do in this case. So here's a little bit bone. And I guess that's it already for the bone part. So you could theoretically go even brighter if you just mix in some white into the bone mix. So we'll do it. Make it a little bit brighter. So some top parts will brighten it even up. So, and ta-da, that version is also already done. for this skeleton also we need to now paint the clothes and all that kind of stuff. But we will come to that also later. Now we will go for this skeleton, and this I will paint in a more showcase style, so there will be no dry brushing. I will start off with priming this miniature in black. So, be right back when this is done. So, there we have now the black primed skeleton, and in this case I want to go a more grayish, blackish bone structure, and for that we will start with Asheen Grey as our first layer. So, a little bit on the palette, and then we will paint now the bones, but leave the recesses of course in black, but this time we will not really dry brush, because in this case I don't want to have this cloudy and rough look to it. I want to have a clean bone structure, just like that. See? I'll finish up this part and be right back. Okay, as you can see, the bone parts are now gray, and the next layer will be a mixture of Asheen Grey and Baneblade Brown. So we will do that quickly. So, and like usual, we will add a little bit of water to this paint now to give it a little bit better flow. And with that, we will now start to highlight the bones, and we will concentrate on the higher parts, just like you would normally highlight any other surface. Also keep in mind to leave a little bit of the gray behind, so we have a nice transition in the end. So, this looks good already. And of course, the higher you get with the highlights, the faster it gets, because obviously you have to paint less and less surface, and so it will get faster. So, I guess that's enough for this step. There. Another little stroke. And there we go. Okay, now we will take pure Baneblade Brown. Also, a little bit water. And then we will highlight even more. Make it a little bit interesting. You see where I've painted there. almost done already. Now here the face again. And done. So you could, if you want, add now a little bit of Screaming Skull or even white to the mixture and highlight it even more, but I personally think that this here is the perfect color now for a really old and dusty skeleton that has rotten in a tomb or something like that, where this here is more like a deserty kind of skeleton that is worn dry by sand and something like that. And yeah, you have to keep in mind what kind of skeleton you want. Also, if you want a skeleton that is coming right through the dirt and has some moss on it and something like that, it is more like a brownish tone than even bleached bone. So they tend to be a lot of darker. In the next segment, I will show you how to paint the armor and metal parts of this miniature to be well, rusted and corrugated. Be right back. Do you remember that I said something like we will use the small dry brush again? Yes, this is now the time. I want to have this armor to be brass and copper and very old brass. And so we will take now Hasshood copper, give it a good shake. Take something on the palette, like that. But this color is actually too bright, and so we will darken that with a tiny little bit of black. So, just like that. Mix it in. That was too much. Well, black darkens down the color pretty heavy, as you can see. So I'll take again the copper like that, and I'll add a tiny bit of that. Yeah, that's more like it. So we will now stipple this color. What this means is something similar to dry brushing. So you take your color on your brush, and then you remove most of the excess on the paper towel, and then we will start to stippling. That means we will dab on the color just like that. And you see that makes the color well, leave out some spots here and there, and leave the black behind. And that way we can make a beaten copper look. Not Copperfield, that is something completely different. So make sure you don't hit the bone parts. We just want to have the armor parts hit. Okay, there, another one. also the hilt of the sword. The sword itself will be normal metal, and we will rust that up. Okay. Yeah, that's the first layer of this brass. Now we will take the pure Hasud copper. And we will stipple again. And with that we will actually highlight these areas now. Don't make too much, just here a little bit. So, this is already done. And now we will add a tiny little bit of silver to the mix. So there we have the silver, and again some of the copper, a little bit more. A little bit more again. Okay, that's good. So, and with that, we will highlight even more. Now we have a nice beaten copper look. Okay, I guess that's enough. And now, well, copper does not rust like metal, it corrodates. And in order to corrodate copper, we need a turquoise. And I found blue-green from Vallejo Model Color works best for that. So, in order to use that now properly, we need a tiny little amount of that. And then lots of water. Like that. And another one. Big drop. So. And what we will do now is take a long brush like that, and then we will add this stuff here to these holes, for example. There we go. And give it this nice bronze patina. Don't overdo it, otherwise the whole armor will look well, turquoise, and that is not what we want. We just want the indication of this corrugated look, and feel to it. Okay, there we go. I'll let that dry and be right back to you. So tubies, now it is time for some rust. As you can see, I have painted the metal parts on all three skeletons already. I just simply took iron breaker and painted it. If you have the old colors, take bolt gun metal, simply a dark metal color. So, and in order to rust them, we need now pigments. I use 3 kinds of pigments for that. First, we will use burnt umber from Vallejo Pigments, and then dark red ochre and burnt sienna for the rust orange tones. So, first we take some of the dark burnt umber on a palette, just like that. We take a big old brush and now we add water to the pigments. So, and with that we will now go over the metal parts, just like that. And give it this rust patina. Just like that. See? Quite easy. Same on this blade. And on that. And here on the helmet and the sword. So I know this looks pretty dark, but well, we will change that after it is dry. Be right back. The good thing about pigments is that they are just loosely attached to the miniature after they are applied. And so we will take now a very stiff dry brush, and with that we will simply remove some of the excess. You see that it is dusting off, as you can see it here, hopefully. And we will reveal some of the metal sheen again, but overall leaving this well, rusted patina over the metal. Same on here. And that is exactly what we want to have. Okay. And also on this blade here. And what would be a rusted metal without really yellowish, orangey rust stains? And for that we will use now a mixture out of burnt sienna and dark red ochre. So we will add a little bit on our palette. We don't need much. That should be plenty. Enough. Now some of the dark red ochre. There we go. So we will take now a wet brush, take some of the pigment, and we will simply dab on some of this pigments on here. not everywhere, just some minor spots to give this rusted feeling. Just like that. Same here. And the good thing about the pigments is also they give this well, this matte finish when this is dry, what rust is supposed to look like. So in order to fix these pigments, that they don't move away again and you can easily dust them off with a finger, you have to give the miniature, after all, a matte varnish coat. And in case you want to have them for the for your vitrine, for your showcase, then you can simply leave it like that. And you see already it is drying out, and there you have a nice rusted blade. So for the edges, we could technically take some metal again here, then remove most of the excess of the blade, of the brush, and then we will just slightly go over the edge of the blade and go over it like that to make some streaks of fresh metal in there, like that. Also, you could go here over the shield like that. So again here on the sword blade, also it helps if you take a very damaged brush for that. That helps with the streaks. Yeah, I think that looks okay. Same here, quickly. Zim, zim, zim. And zim, zim, zim. There we go. So, last things to do are the final details. For this miniature, this just needs some black wash at the back of the shield. To make this wooden grain a little bit better. Like that. And ta-da, this skeleton is game ready, I would say. Also, we need to make the base, but we don't want to tackle that. Also here, the clothing for that is very easy to make. Want really dirty old clothing, and so we simply go over it with a black wash. Remember, you don't want to spend hours and hours painting one simple skeleton. Let's face it, if you want to make an undead army, 200 skeletons is, well, normal, I would say. So, don't waste your time painting 3 hours on one skeleton. Make it as simple as possible. Try not to hit the bone parts with the wash. It's almost done. Just a moment. We're already there. And I guess it's done. Ta-da! So, there you have it. 3 different skeletons. In the finished stages. Well, the bases need to be done. Also, you could paint on this here, this tiny little leather straps in brown, but, well, I will leave it like that. I hope you liked this tutorial, and we see us in the next video. Your Alexandra.